And welcome back to another edition of Running with James. This is it. It is race week. So for a lot of folks, I know for a lot of people in the Champions Running Association, this race, the Chevron Houston Marathon and the Aramco Half Marathon have been kind of the buildup, right? This is where we've been headed toward. This is where the pyramid has been taking so many folks. And so you want to get to that finish line. You want to get to that start line. You want to make sure that you are not only as fit as possible, but as ready as possible. And so a few months ago, we made a video called Race Ready. We just kind of talked about, what are some steps we can take the couple weeks leading up, the week leading up. You can check that out right up here. Just kind of talking about, making sure you've got your outfit ready. You've got your nutrition, you've got a race plan, all that good stuff, getting sleep, all those things are super important. Check that out up here on the tab. But today we're going to really kind of hone in on one very specific thing, and that is race plan. All right, guys, so we know the old adage, if you fail to plan, then plan to fail, right? And so you had a running plan. Hopefully you had some sort of, strategy you were following to get where you are today, right? To add those mileage, to develop those long runs, to work in that speed work. So you had some sort of plan. So it would just make sense that you have a race plan as well. That would include, how often are you gonna take nutrition, or how often are you gonna stop to get water? Things of that nature. What's my pace gonna be, right? If you have an overall goal, for so many people over the years I've talked to and they've said, I want to beat 2 hours for my half marathon, but then they were unable to tell me, well, what does that mean as far as like how many, minutes per mile do I need to be running? What's my pace going to look like? And so I feel like a lot of times we just kind of go out there, we run, and then when we look, oh no, I've only got 10 minutes left, we take off running to try to beat that time. And so if you get a great race plan, then you can have an amazing race. And so a good race plan really is the difference between getting a PR and bonking, right? Or not hitting whatever your goal is for that event. And so here's some strategies that I like to use. These are some strategies I coach my clients to utilize to help get them through the race and be successful. All right, so the first one is your actual pace, right? Is gonna be your actual run time, right? And so I like to think of it as, obviously we set a goal, but having an A, a B, and a C time goal, okay? And so your A goal is if everything goes perfect, you're feeling amazing, the weather is great, you've got great pacing, you got people to run with you, you're feeling amazing, and you get this time that maybe you were like, man, I hope I can get it, but I'm not sure if I could, right? And then there's the B, right? Which is kind of like your main goal. It's the one you're pretty sure that you can probably hit if you maintain your pace, no matter what the weather may be. And then there's the C goal, where if all else fails, if all things fall apart, you're still gonna get that goal. And so those could differ based on what events you're doing, but go into it with kind of having an A, B, and C goal. That way, if you don't hit, that sometimes we set our goals too high, which always set high goals, right? But sometimes we don't attain those high goals. Maybe they're not realistic. Maybe they're something that we haven't really trained for, right? Our fitness doesn't lie. And so maybe you just aren't at that position yet where you can get it. And so for me personally, right, I have a goal this weekend. I kind of had an injury. You guys know that, right? I had an injury with my toe, so I wasn't able to run for a few weeks. So I've got about 300 miles past due, right? So I didn't get about 300 miles of my training schedule that I was supposed to get, missed a lot of speed workouts. And so my goal for this particular race was to run the half in about an hour and 32 minutes. That was my goal, to make sure I'm on pace to hit that Boston qualifier. Well, to be honest with you, I don't know if I can get that now. I was pretty confident about 3 months ago, but now, I don't know. But that's still my A goal, but then I have a B goal, kind of a fallback goal, and then I have a C goal, which is, C goal? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that. So, but a C goal as well, to kind of know, okay, this is where I'm at, and these are some things I need to work on, so make sure that I'm ready for my marathon in March. All right, so the other thing that maybe would be a great idea to add into your race plan is being familiar with the course, okay? Being familiar with the course map. And so one of the great things about most major races that are out there is they always post the map beforehand, so you know what the course is gonna look like. If you've had a chance, we actually went out, a group of us went several times out to the Houston Marathon course and ran portions of it, the first part, the middle part, just to make sure we kind of were comfortable with it, so you can get, with the elevation, where your turns are gonna be, and it makes it a lot easier, and it doesn't seem as long when you've ran it more than one time. And so if you have a chance, make sure you go and look at that course map, kind of maybe not memorize, but make sure you familiarize yourself with the bulk of the turns, where the water stations are going to be, perhaps maybe where the bathrooms may need to be if you have to stop and use the potty. So whatever it may be, familiarize yourself with the course. And if you do, I promise you, it'll make it a lot easier to make it through, especially when you get deep into the race, because you know, okay, this is my last hill, or once I hit this turn, I know it's a straightaway. And so if you do that, it'll help get you to the end a lot faster. All right, and so another big portion of your race plan is your nutrition, right? And so when I say nutrition, I'm talking about how are you fueling yourself during the event. And so for, maybe a 5K or a 10K, you probably don't really necessarily need to take fuel with you because your body probably has enough energy to get through those events. But once you start working your way up to that half marathon distance, to that full marathon distance, you're definitely gonna wanna take some fuel with you. And so the body has about 60 minutes or so of glycogen stores, right? So glycogen is the thing that fuels our body, right? It's the thing that gives us those energies. Most of those comes from carbohydrates, right? And then also our body is fueled by fat stores as well. And so your body probably has enough fat stores to make it through whatever you need, right? We all have plenty of fat on our body. But what tends to happen is your brain needs that glycogen. Your brain really needs that glycogen, because once your brain gets deprived of glycogen, what tends to happen is it starts telling your muscles, okay, we're starving, we need help, let's start shutting this bad boy down, right? And so it's almost like you're supplementing for your brain, right? Because you want to keep it sharp and fresh and sending those signals to those muscles so that you can keep firing on all cylinders. And so it's a great idea that anywhere from 30 to every 30 to every 45 minutes that you put something into your body. Now, hopefully you've been practicing this, right? So you don't want to necessarily try anything new on race day. Hopefully you've been practicing this and you know what's going to work with your intestinal system, right? What's going to not make you have to go to the bathroom, right? What's not going to make you feel all queasy or what have you, right? And there's all types of options. You got gels, you've got like the gummies, some people use like baby food, all types of things that are out there to utilize. But it's a great idea to try to get something in your body every 30 to 45 minutes. So you want to be ahead of the game, right? So you're going to burn way more calories, way more carbs than you could ever take in during that event. So it's a good idea to make sure you're kind of always ahead of the game. You can use powders and put them in your water if you're going to take water with you. So there's all types of options out there, but it's a great idea to make sure you've got a good fueling plan and you stick to it, right? Whether you write it on your arm, right? Whether you put maybe some kind of reminder if you have one of the smart watches, right? That buzzes every few minutes, 30 minutes, 2 miles, 3 miles. Some people plan by the mileage, some do by the time, whatever it may be, because you want to make sure that when you get to the end of that race, you still have some reserve fuel to get you all the way to the end. All right, last but not least, and probably honestly the most important part of it all, is have a plan to have fun, right? You're gonna be nervous, you're gonna be, probably a little bit stressed out, and that's okay because you wanna do well. If you're not nervous, then you're not probably planning on doing well. And so you're probably not gonna get a lot of sleep the night before, but what you wanna do is when you get to that race starting line, remember why you're doing this. Maybe it's the goal you set, maybe it's, to raise money for some sort of charity, maybe it's to inspire somebody, whatever it may be, remember the reason while you're doing it and go out there and enjoy yourself. Know that you've put in the work, you've put in the effort, just trust the training that you've done and you've done for so many months now, so many weeks, whatever it may be, and go out there and just do your best to have a great time. So guys, thank you for coming in today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this is helpful, right? If it is helpful, make sure you share it with some of the other folks that are out there. I hope you guys all do amazing. I don't doubt that you're gonna go out there and you're gonna crush it this weekend. So I'm excited to hear about how your race went. Why don't you do this for us, if you will, down in the comments, if you will. This is something a little bit different, right? It's not a question. I want you, if you will, on Sunday, if you watch this video today or if you watch it on Sunday, whenever, I want you, if you will, just put down in the comments, what was your race like, right? How did it go? Was it great? What was your time? Did you PR? Whatever it may be. Let's see those race results and let's let everybody know what a great time we had this coming weekend. So if you do, and you haven't, or if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, right? And let's think about how we can change our lives. Let's think about how we can change how we do things, because if we change our minds, we change our lives. So thanks guys for coming in. I'm gonna catch you later. Hopefully I hit my number. I hope I hit that 8 goal because I still got a long way to go before March and I gotta get faster. Oh my goodness.